Good morning, everybody. You're going to have to forgive me because in my spare time, I'm a rock star. So when I say I'm used to kind of, good evening, everybody. Hooray! So we want to liven the room up a bit. And Kit there, I think, isn't used to talking in front of a lot of people. So that was well worth a round of applause. Yes, I'm Dan. I actually work for a company called Measure My Energy, and we are the manufacturer of the technology behind Energy Renewals smart billing service. So I want to talk a little bit about that and the principles of it. I guess, broadly speaking, room full of facilities managers or thereabouts, we've got probably two schools of thought in the room. There are those that believe you can't fatten a pig by weighing it, and there are those that believe you can't manage what you don't measure. And naturally, I'm here to appeal to the latter. This is what we're all about, a bit of measurement. Because in your businesses, if you are looking to manage costs and reduce costs, I suppose energy it's regarded often as a necessary evil, isn't it? You've got any other costs. If you have a higher than expected telephone bill, then the first thing you're going to do is go and scrutinise the itemisation and understand who's calling who and when and why, and understand why that occurred and see if there's anything you can do differently about it. If you have a higher than expected payroll, then you can go and look at every penny of overtime or commission that's gone out the door, and you can understand why that's happened and see if you might want to make any changes. When you get a higher than expected energy bill, you pretty much often just moan about it and pay, right? This is asking a business to use less energy is often like asking a person to breathe less air. It just is. We have to go and do it. We need to use that. But actually, what I've come to learn in this business and doing what I do and working with Ken and the team here at Energy Renewals is that is often you'll be very surprised by better understanding when and where and how that energy is being used and that money is being spent. Actually, you can often develop strategies to reduce it. And I've got a firm working example I want to share with you. This is a genuine client of ours, and this is a look at the shape of their business, a bit of a energy profile. I'm sure many of you have seen very similar shaped graphs, looking at perhaps half-hourly data or understanding how much energy is being consumed by your organisation. We're closed, we're open, we're closed, fairly typical shape of a day for a lot of people. And this particular business kind of said, yeah, we've got the half-hourly data, we know what we're spending and where we're spending it on, there's not a lot we can do about it. We beg the question, so here, this point that we're highlighting here, in the middle of the night, still consuming some 70 kilowatts, spending circa £10 an hour on being closed when nobody's there and no one's doing any work. Well, they say, shrug the shoulders. That'll be all of our IT, won't it? It's the servers, it's the air conditioning in the server rooms, it's all of the stuff that we can't turn on. Everybody's got stuff that they can't turn off. It's a fair assumption to make, you might think. So we have a look and we see here is an example. This is just a snapshot. So this is the top 10 offenders, if you like. These are the top 10 energy consuming items in that particular business at that particular time, accounting for some 40 of those 70 kilowatts there. And you can see, absolutely, yes, we've got up here, I can't use the pointer on our remote control, but I don't know if you can read that from the back, but absolutely the air conditioning and the comms room and the servers are all in there. But if we take those out, we're left looking at simply power and lights. This is first floor power, third floor lights, second floor power and lights. Power and lighting in the middle of the night, taking up more than a third of their overnight consumption, which is until now being assumed to be all driven by the IT and those items that can't be switched off and are fundamentally necessary to run the business. Significant saving opportunity, cost benefit, carbon reduction, call it what you will. That's a lot of energy being wasted when it doesn't need to be. And that can either be addressed through the implementation of technologies or behavioural change programs, which I know the guys here at Energy Renewals are very much a part of. So using some of this level of information, really understanding and getting under the skin of how and when and where all of that energy is being used and all of that money is being spent, means that those strategies, those behavioural change programs and or decisions about other technology investments can be made with very credible information to back it up. That said, of course, going through all of this data is sometimes a little bit time consuming. I know that you are all very busy people, so the last thing you want perhaps is to have yet another wood for the trees problem where you can have all of that information in front of you and not really know where to start. So I know that the guys here at Energy Renewals want to talk about how they use the data to work with you and put those programs together. So I'm going to hand over now to Rachel.